What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Honest and Uneducated, the show where we talk about anything from movies, movie news, video games, comic books, just all sorts of fun stuff like that. We got a pretty good damn show for you today. Even though despite the lack of news, there were a couple pretty good interesting topics here. Then of course, as we do every Monday, we are going to be getting into the Mandalorian spoiler discussion over the latest episode. This one was the Jedi, so look forward to that. We had a lot of news, just in that one episode. A lot of reveals, some first time seeing some characters. There's a lot of good stuff. We got some name drops, literally. So looking forward to talking to that. And to go over all that stuff with me today is none other than Rick Metz himself. How you doing today, Rick?
Doing pretty good. It's a nice jacket you're wearing.
Yeah, it was a little chilly in here, so I still feel comfortable right now. So I figured I'd just go ahead and keep it on. But you might see it come off later in the show.
You never know.
We'll have to wait and see.
You never know.
And also chuckling away, there's John Knight himself. How you doing, John?
I'm good, man. How you guys?
It's good. Like I said, it's been a slow news week, but I mean, there were some interesting things, and I mean, I feel like we could have probably went the whole show just talking about Mando. In all honesty, but
yeah,
but a lot.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah,
right.
There's enough to talk about. A lot to talk about in just that one episode. Quick off the top, would you say that was your favorite episode of the season so far?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh. I mean, maybe. There were moments. I think it had some of my favorite moments of the season so far, but I really enjoyed the multi Mandalorian one too.
That was good.
I'm gonna have to give it a second view and really figure out where I put it. But yeah, definitely up there.
Yeah, I think it's probably my favorite of the season.
I don't think my favorite of all.
Yeah,
every episode.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I don't know. Maybe one day after the end of season, once the season's over, I'll go back and just watch everything. Because that's kind of the good thing about the episodes being short, is that you can get the whole 2 seasons done in a day if you really wanted to.
Yeah, sure.
But then maybe I'll have a better idea in mind. So. But before we get into these main topics here, guys, do not forget you can submit topics and questions to the show for us to cover by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. But with that down and out of the way, let's get into our first main topic. And our first topic today is about the Godzilla vs. Kong movie. And there has apparently been so a couple things came up with it. One, Netflix has apparently made a bid to Warner Brothers to actually have it just go on to straight to Netflix, if you will. And then there's some other news suggesting that Warner Brothers is going to be still sticking to the theatrical release, but if that doesn't pan out, it looks like they are going to be kind of like with Wonder Woman, shifting gears to putting it on HBO Max if possible. And I mean, as we, these are unprecedented times. Everybody likes to say that's the big phrase. And normally, a movie like this obviously wouldn't want to go straight to streaming because they spend a lot of money on these kind of movies, so it makes sense that they want to put it in theaters. But I could see it being a good move to actually put this on HBO Max, mainly because of just how not poorly, but Godzilla King of the Monsters really didn't perform all that well in theaters.
Thought it was good, but
yeah. Did you like the movie though, Rick?
It was entertaining. I saw it with my dad and brother, and it was just a big CGI action. It was entertaining, and I didn't walk out like, man, that sucked.
Yeah, I was disappointed by it.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was amazing. Maybe I should watch it on my new TV.
To be fair, I didn't have very high expectations to begin with. So,
here's the thing. I actually had high expectations from it because the Comic-Con, when they released that trailer at Comic-Con it was amazing.
Yeah.
But the trailer looked great. It looked super hype. I thought maybe they were putting too many monsters in it, but
I like the Titans, all the different ones. That was kind of cool.
That's what I'm saying. I liked seeing them all in there, but I feel like I don't know if it's just it in some ways suffered from some of the faults that the first one had, and that they focus a lot on the human stuff when
Great point.
I don't really care about the human stuff. Like I'm going to see Godzilla for Godzilla. Like,
Yeah.
although I really liked Gareth Evans. I think it was Gareth Evans or Gareth Edwards. I think Gareth Evans. Regardless, I liked the first Godzilla, despite like people having that one major complaint that there was just not enough of him.
I watched that today.
The first one.
Yeah.
I liked that movie a lot, in all honesty. Like, I thought that was really good. I could have used a little bit more Godzilla, but at the same time, I don't know. I enjoyed it. But John? What do you think about this potentially going to HBO Max? Do you think that would be a good move or no?
I'm sure, just as we talked about with Wonder Woman last week, I'm sure it's a great move on their part for the stability and the long term. I don't know, the longevity. Double up on those words there.
Long-term longevity.
Long term longevity, yeah, of the platform. I'm sure it will, drive some people to pick it up. I'm sure it will drive some people to keep their subscription, knowing that that sort of thing is going to be released there. I just don't know that it's going to recoup the money that potentially could have been made in the theater. This one I was actually really surprised by. Wonder Woman, there has been hints for a long time. I still was adamant that I didn't think it would be going to streaming, but there were hints for a long time that that was the direction it would end up going. This one, I really felt like we haven't even come close to the initial release date for it. I mean, I believe the original release date was sometime this summer, correct?
I think May 2021.
Yeah. So, I mean, we haven't even gotten to its release, and I would have thought they would have given it some more time to see if there were any resolutions or anything happening with COVID and vaccines and stuff to at least try and get it into a theater and get some of those box office dollars back. But I don't know. Like you said, you made a great point with the original focusing too much on the humans. I actually haven't even seen Godzilla and the King of the Monsters one. And when I was a kid, some of my fondest memories were, going up to I'm going to date myself here, but going to the rental store and picking up all the old black and white original Godzilla movies and like staying up until like 2 in the morning watching them. And I really, I really love Godzilla. And the first movie was fine. It was good. Again, I wanted more, like a lot of people, I wanted more Godzilla. It just didn't, it was just missing something. It was too much on the humans. And so, I'll see this one hopefully. But yeah, we'll see.
I just hope that it doesn't. My other concern, I guess, just with this movie coming out with it is it's gonna inevitably end up being the BVS thing where Kong and Godzilla just end up teaming up in the end, right?
Martha.
And then I saw, like there's going to be a Martha moment, essentially, is what's going to happen. But I think it was for this movie, and maybe I think it had the branding of it. I can't remember, so don't 100% quote me on it, everybody. But I swear I saw, like in the famously, like it happens lately, is toys end up spoiling movies. It's like if you remember back in like Endgame, when Endgame was coming out, the Tony glove was on the shelves before. Tony's Infinity Gauntlet was on the shelves before the movie came out.
True.
So it's like, well, a bit of a spoiler.
Well,
and just a bit.
Yeah, a bit of a spoiler.
Jesus. And, I'm so glad I didn't see that.
Yeah. And then I think I saw, like, this is all relevant because I think I saw a toy with the branding for this movie, and it was Mechagodzilla. So I don't really know.
Some Walmart, I think.
Do what?
They have them at Walmart like already, and there's one of King Kong where Kong, and he's got like a huge chunk of his chest ripped out, like that's removable. So I mean, that's not a huge spoiler, but it
is a little bit though. It always just reminds me though of back when the Phantom Menace was coming out. If you guys remember this isn't really John. You might remember it, but you might remember it too, Eric. We're just on the younger side, but I remember it. And
very well could.
Dude, the soundtrack for it came out because it wasn't toys that spoiled it. This was the soundtrack for the Phantom Menace. It was released, and one of the titles of the songs was Qui-Gon's Noble End. And that was before the movie came out. So I was like, well, I guess Liam Neeson dies.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know
I
though.
remember here. I remember a friend of mine that waited in line to get tickets to that movie, and apparently one of the guys in line, like, this was back when you had to like you had to camp out at the movie
Mhm.
theater and get the pre-sale tickets, and like this line full of diehard Star Wars fans, and one of the guys in the line was like, "Yeah, I heard that Qui-Gon dies," like to everybody in line. Oh man,
Come
they
on.
just about killed him. So
Yeah, that would. See, and that's why
awful.
you'd think this stuff would happen even more and more. I mean, I guess it kind of does nowadays, though. Like we're
Yeah,
just everybody has cell phones. Like this, half the articles that we even like talk about is not information that the studios actually want out. Like if they
sure.
could keep everything a secret, they would. But it's like sources hear stuff and then they publish it, and it's like I think even the next thing we're going to talk about with Predator, like that's not even something the dude even says, the director, I think it's Trachtenberg, but he says in the article, like, "This really wasn't supposed to come out. It was supposed to be a surprise, but here it is." Like,
Yeah.
but, what do you guys think, though, if, would you wanna see Mechagodzilla, like, be the thing, be the Martha moment for them in this movie? Or
I
because
don't even
I
think
don't
that
really know if I
deeply
really
into.
am into that too much.
Yeah.
In all honesty, because
Yeah,
it to me, it makes me think that, again, they'd be including the humans in it too much, 'cause the humans would have had to have made it. In the world that they
yeah,
set up here, like, if the humans would have had to have made Mechagodzilla, and it's
Wasn't
just like
Mechagodzilla an alien though originally?
I think so, but, like, I
Yeah.
feel like in
They're
this
not gonna
world that
make
they
it that
set up,
way.
that's not what it would be. I think it
Yeah.
would be whatever the organization that's been in the 1st and 2nd ones that has been working.
Monarch.
Yeah, Monarch. I feel like
mhm,
they would have made Mechagodzilla because
True.
I just don't see despite there being giant monsters everywhere, aliens don't really seem to, like, make sense, like, giant robot aliens don't seem to make sense in that world, as weird as that
Yeah.
sounds. It just seems more like something that, like, Monarch would make with how they've set them up, but
yeah.
and that's what kinda tempers
It's like
my
an anti-Godzilla sort of thing,
yeah,
or
exactly, which I don't think sounds
anti-Titan.
cool.
Yeah.
Right. Do it.
Like Titan, because they know that they
Yeah.
all exist now, and they want something that's like, if we need to, we can defend ourselves from them. So that would actually make like perfect sense.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it
Yeah.
makes too much sense, so that's why I don't want it to happen. And I don't want the humans to be, like, the more they've already been focused on too much, in my opinion. Now if you bring in the introduction of, a Mechagodzilla made by them, it's just like, I just wanna see the monsters fight each other. But John, if
Sure.
that to your point of, kind of, like, feeling the same way about that, there is a lot more monsters in King of the Monsters.
A lot.
It's just
I
not done that
I mean,
well.
this is I do this from time to time, but I actually own the 4K Blu-ray of it because I was like, Godzilla, this is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna buy this. And then
Yeah,
every time I go to watch it, I'm like, yeah, but I could read this comic instead, or I could watch this
right.
other movie instead, or I could play this video game instead. And I'm just like, I can't bring myself to spend the 2 hours just because I was so underwhelmed by the first one. But
Right. I would say
we'll
give it
see.
a shot.
Yeah, give it a shot if you're
Okay.
bored.
Like, it's
Okay.
good to have on in the background even, you know? I don't know. It's not a dumpster fire of a movie.
I could do
Yeah.
some organizing around around
Yeah.
my house
Yeah.
and maybe turn it on.
Yeah,
Find
you
some
could
time
always
for.
just when the humans come on, just that's when you go and do something else, and then you come back, and
There's
it's
still a lot of that too, but
yeah, like, I
Yeah.
think the worst part about that movie, though, is that, like, the humans, like, plans in it were just, like, so stupid. Like, just all of them were just, like, dumb, as opposed to the first one where it was just showing a little bit too much and focusing too much on the military aspect. This one was just like, y'all just dumb, like, just kinda stupid, but
Yeah, I don't even remember like I was really excited about the first one too because Bryan Cranston was in it, but then I remember like didn't he die in like the first 10 minutes or something?
mhm. Yep.
Yeah, sorry,
Right away.
Womp
spoilers
womp
for an old
womp.
movie, but yeah,
Yeah.
I was like so like the whole movie I was just like, wait a minute, they were telling me like Walter White was gonna be in this movie. And I was all excited and now he's gone. What? What's going on?
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah.
Played
No,
a good
Okay, I'll
Zordon.
give it a shot.
yeah. It's worth the watch. It's worth the watch, so
Good deal.
sorry. But Anyways, with that out of the way, let's move on here. And first, though, let us know what you guys think about this. Or do you think that HBO Max is gonna, have now Godzilla and Wonder Woman to be released, straight to HBO Max? Do you think that's gonna happen? And what would you think about Mecha Godzilla being that Martha moment for both Kong and Godzilla in regards to the Kong vs. Godzilla movie? Because part of me, I mean, it'd be cool to see Mechagodzilla, but at the same time, like, I just don't think Mechagodzilla really fits in the world that they've set up there. I know that sounds crazy, like I said, because there's just a ton of monsters, but either way, let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. All right, guys, so our next main topic here is, like I kind of alluded to before, it's about the Predator and the future of the Predator franchise. So it looks like for the past 4 years, director Dan Trachtenberg, I think I'm pronouncing that right. It looks like phonetically I'm pronouncing that right. But he had been working on a Predator movie, and some news has came out just here recently that now this was like 8 hours ago. This story came out, so we were going to talk about the news of the new Predator movie potentially being in the works, regardless. But then this story comes out suggesting that I hit the wrong button. So you can email us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. But that it could be the first female-led movie in the series, and offhand, that's not really a positive or a negative to me. I just need to know like where you're going with it, and like if you read through the article, they go on to suggest that like he's been working on like a lot of movies when they're in production, they have like these code names and stuff that they're under, and he's supposedly been working on some movie called like Skulls. This is like the log line for it or whatever as they're referring to it. But it suggests that there's like a Comanche woman who goes against gender norms and traditions to become a warrior. Played out, yes. It's not like a new thing. I mean, by any means, I mean, Mulan's been around forever.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a very similar story to Mulan. But I guess throwing it into the whole Predator world could be an interesting take on it, but it also just kind of almost runs the line of being a little bit like Alien to me in some ways, like just having a strong female lead, like set in a quote unquote shared universe, I guess you could say in some ways, since they did tie those universes together at one point. So I think more like some of the more compelling stuff in here about like this movie, even like potentially being made, is that um, Dan here has been working on it for the past 4 years, completely separate from the Shane Black Predator movie we just got, like in 2019, I think it was, which did not turn out very good. Like that movie was pretty disappointing, all things considered, especially considering Shane Black was directing it. And I don't know, I think everybody's expected more from Shane Black in regards to that movie, and especially with the ending was so terrible. Did you guys see that Predator movie?
I did not.
I don't think I finished it. Olivia Munn was in it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think I watched like the first half of it and intended to go back and just never did.
Well,
Yeah,
you're
it
not
wasn't
missing
good enough.
anything. You're
Okay.
not you're not missing anything. But at the end of it, though, the worst part about it was like at the end, like the main character guy, I forget his name, but it was a guy that was in Logan, with the robot arm. He was like your main
Yeah.
character in Predator.
Okay.
Well, at the end of it, he gets like a Predator Iron Man suit. Like literally, I'm not even kidding with you. He puts on like Predator armor and gets like it's literally like the Predator made him and left the humans, not like him specifically, but the Predator made a Predator technology suit for humanity to have in case to defend themselves essentially, and like it's literally a Predator iron. It's the stupidest thing. Like it's just
Sounds like it.
it's just yeah, like and that's just how it ends. You put I don't know. Spoiler alert for a terrible movie. Like, I don't know, it's terrible. It
Interesting.
wasn't a good movie. But that's probably the most interesting thing about this is that like he's been working on this movie potentially for the last 4 years, completely separate from that, which I don't know, just always makes it. This brings me back to like Lucasfilm and how they like were making this trilogy for the sequel trilogy and not letting everybody work together on it, it's just like, "You make this, you make this," and I just never understand why.
Compartmentalizing everything.
Yeah, like, I don't understand why, like, they have, like, why would Fox have had, Shane Black go make this movie, but then, like, Dan Trachtenberg's been sitting here, like, supposedly making a Predator movie for the last 4 years, and they weren't gonna be connected to like, why are you doing that? Like, just
Yeah.
if you have like two guys who like have a good like idea, like why don't you get them together and see if they can make up something like good, like not that like what. Not that everything's like all bad that like Shane Black did in the movie, but you know what I mean. Like if you got like these really talented, creative people, why don't you put them in a room together, see if they can come up with something like a good plan for you guys to make like a good trilogy out of something. You know, like maybe they both obviously like Fox liked both of their ideas enough to let them do it, but it's like why are you
Mhm.
gonna do it separate? It's just like I don't know, just confusing. I don't understand the mindset behind a lot of it, but I'm not the one out there making movies. It's just how it looks to me.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about this potential female-led, predator? And see, here's the thing too. Another thing that just bothers me off. This just might just be a problem with the sites in their headline here, but it says series, like female-led series. Like, why don't you focus on a good movie first? All right.
Yeah.
Don't
Really.
be sitting here saying you're gonna make a series of like. Nah, like you make one good movie, you go from there, all right? Because Universal, they want to talk to you about their dark universe, all right? Like, make a good movie.
That
Don't
lasted
put
all
the
of one
yeah
film.
yeah. Don't put the universe before the movie. Just
Yeah.
make a good movie and you go from there. But what do you guys think about this potentially being a female led movie thing going in the Predator, and them him working on this for like 4 years supposedly.
I mean, cool. I liked like the first Predator movie.
I think
Arnold
everybody likes the
Schwarzenegger.
first.
Yeah, I mean, like, I just kind of got a little crazy after that, but neat. That's like all I
Yeah,
can say.
I I'm not really sure. Like you made a great point with him. I'm happy. Like, cool. I like Predator. I like Predator movies. Awesome. Bring it on. Um, the whole like making a point to say that it's female led. Like you made a great point about the Alien franchise. I mean, that was a female led franchise for a long time. And I don't think it was billed and marketed and promoted as a female led space, saga or whatever.
Right.
It's just like I understand why because of the focus on diversity and inclusion and representation, and that's all important and stuff. But I also feel like highlighting the fact that it's female led just gives the trolls an excuse to come out of the woodwork and be like, "Oh, it's not going to be a good movie. They're just doing it just to force the diversity on us and stuff." And it's like, why even give people a chance? Just go out and make the best movie you can. Who cares if it's a guy or a girl that's in the lead?
Right.
Why the f does
Exactly.
that? Why the f does that matter? Like it didn't matter with Aliens. It wasn't like Aliens did much better because it was female led, or would have done better if it hadn't been female. It was just a good movie. Go make the best movie you can make. Put who you want to put in. Put the character that fits the story that you're telling the best in there, and just go from there.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
anyway, that's my little soapbox on the highlighting of it being a female led film. But yeah, I mean, come at me, bring me the best movie
Come
you
at me,
can
bro.
make, and I'm happy, man. Like I'll go see it. You could put dogs in there fighting Predator. I mean,
That might be
buddy,
They
good.
did
buddy,
that.
did they?
Well, they had predator dogs, yeah. Didn't
Okay, well,
I mean, talking. I think
bunny
he's talking like
rabbits
some
or
gold
something.
retrievers versus some
right,
predators or something.
right.
If the movie's good, then like I'll go see it, man. Don't worry about trying to like I
No,
don't
I'm with you.
know.
That's what, dude. With both, honestly, with both predators and aliens in general, those have been, I'd have to say, for me, like the two franchises that I've been like the most personally disappointed and hurt by, because I love Alien and I love Xenomorphs. Like Alien and
Yeah.
Aliens are primo movies, and I mean
Mhm.
they're fantastic.
Yeah.
And same with Predator. Like Predator, the first one with Arnie, great, and our boy Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
They did the
Jesse Ventura, I think, was in that too.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that
There's a
first movie's great.
star cast.
Yeah, fantastic movie. Then the second one with Danny Glover, different kind of movie, but it's
Mhm.
fine. But then every movie since then in those franchises have been just god awful. It's like they just don't know what to do with them, and it's like they just get like Alien 3, dude.
What about like Prometheus? Alien
That's
Covenant
not
was
really the
bad.
same thing.
No, but yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not
That was
really
a
the same
female-led
thing.
movie.
I actually like people don't like Prometheus
I
and
liked
Alien
it.
I like them, dude. They're good.
Yeah.
They're different movies though. Like
Yeah.
they're set
Were
in the
there were there multiple Prometheus movies?
There was Prometheus and there was Alien Covenant, which
Yeah.
was kind of like the sequel or like the prequel, maybe. I think it was the
It-
prequel too, because it explained like David, the
No, it was a follow-up. The movie starts out with showing Naomi Rapace's character, like and what David, like what happens to David and all that after Prometheus.
Okay.
But anyway, those two movies, or Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I like Prometheus more than Alien Covenant. Weirdly enough, even though you kind of got like a xenomorph, and I love xenomorphs. All right, xenomorphs are cool, dude.
Rob
Like,
likes his xenomorphs.
Xenomorphs are the best movie monster ever made, like in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like they're super cool.
H.R. Geiger.
Yeah, they're great. And speaking of which, I just started watching Raised by Wolves on HBO Max, which Ridley Scott like directed the first episode and produced a series. And it's like when you first start watching it, you just like you're like, is this in the Alien universe? Like it's got like androids in it. And they bleed white, and it's like it's real Alien. Like, but I read an article because I heard someone saying that like I guess the season ends with like some sort of like cliffhangery thing that like a lot of people suggested that it tied into the Alien universe in some way, but it's not really a spoiler by any means for the show at all. Because as I'm watching it, I'm still not convinced it's not part of the Alien universe in some way. But the creator and like showrunner of the show came out and said that it's like a cousin. You can consider it like it's like we're not directly tied to it, but like I feel like in the end they're just leaving the door open where if they want to connect them, they can.
Sure.
But that's my sales pitch for go watch Raised by Wolves because it's weird, dude. It's weird. So finish Doom Patrol, then go watch it because Doom Patrol is also weird and good. Like it's super good. But the only other thing with Predator to get back on track here is did you guys see the Adrian Brody Predators movie?
No.
Because that's like the only exception to, in my opinion, to all the other movies. Like
I actually think
being
I
kinda
did
shitty.
see that. I thought I liked that.
The concept behind that movie was like awesome because like the Predators picked up a bunch of different like hunter killers and predators from different planets and stuff, and they would bring them
Yeah.
to their hunting planet, and then they would hunt them. So like
Yep.
you had Topher Grace played like a serial killer, then like Adrian Brody was like a Marine guy, and then what's his name? Blade, the guy's playing Blade.
Wesley Snipes?
No, the new Blade.
No,
Blade.
the new Blade.
Wesley Snipes.
Who also played Cottonmouth, and I can't. He's awesome. I can't remember his name right now for whatever reason, but he was even in it. And
It begins with an M. It begins with an M. I can't. Oh well.
you know who we're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Like, if
That
you're
guy.
watching the show, you probably know who we're talking about. And I'll probably think about it in like two topics, and I'll say it. Damn it, it's gonna be bothering me now, though. I don't know who it is. Either way, but that movie's actually good, and that's where like
Is it M something Ali?
Mahershala Ali. Yep. That's
Yep.
it.
There you
Mahershala
go.
Ali. There we go. That's all I needed. But there were predator dogs in that movie. That's why when Rick said this is a really long-winded way to get to just to tie my point to the predator dogs part. But they had like canine form predators in it. Like they just call them predator dogs. Kind of like in Alien 3, they had the xenomorph dogs, which were equally kind of stupid. And all things
Dude,
considered.
they had all kinds of xenomorphs. Like,
yeah, but honestly, too, I did like the idea, and I wish they would have followed this up because the first Alien vs Predator movie is like a fun movie. Like it's not bad. AVP 2 Requiem was terrible, but the first AVP movie was like okay, that's fine. And I actually think the Resident Evil guy who I get on a lot, Paul W.S. Anderson, I think he directed the first one, and that's why I think when we were doing a show and I was kind of going through and just like I don't like Paul W.S. Anderson, and then I went through and I was like, well, he did make this movie and this movie. And I was like, okay, I'll give you that, but I think he made that one and it was decent. But I liked how they ended that movie with the whole idea of there being a xenomorph predator,
Predalien.
yeah, predator. Like, but they didn't follow it up.
No,
Like I was
we
like,
saw it like What, once?
Yeah, and then the AVP2 picks up, and it's just more aliens and predators fighting humans and shit, and it's like, I wanted to see where they end that movie literally with the Predator dude getting back on the ship to go back to Predator world, and then the chest bursts, and you're like, holy shit. Like, that's gonna be dope. This second movie's just gonna be this pred alien going back and fucking up a bunch of predators. Like, that's gonna be cool. This movie still
Never
hasn't been made. Like,
Never
like,
happens.
where were you going with that? You got Fox has these two guys making movies, Predator movies, in the last 4 years, and I still haven't gotten the Pred Alien movie. Like,
Predalien.
the Pred Alien movie. Damn. But anyway, I really like Aliens and Predators. That's kind of my very long-winded point here, and I've just been disappointed by them all because they kind of like the Titan show that we talked about, off camera a little bit. There's so much damn potential there, like so
Yeah.
much, and it blows my mind how I don't know, they just can't seem to make it work anymore. And like one of my fears with Disney buying Fox was that we just weren't gonna get any more of them because they haven't been able to get them to work prior to Disney, and they're not really Disney kind of things to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's funny, it goes along with our last topic with Godzilla. These alien slash monster films, I don't know what it was, but back in the day, like it seemed like decades ago, people were more accepting of a movie that didn't have some human element, like the original Godzilla movie. Yeah, there are humans in them, but they're mainly just to advance the plot and provide some narration about what's
right,
going on. The movies are about the monsters, and the same
Yeah.
I would say with the first Predator. Well, maybe I mean it's more an arty flick, but the first Alien movie is definitely about the alien and like the sense of dread that the alien creates on the thing. Anymore, it's like they it feels like they think moviegoers are so sophisticated that they have to have some intricate human plot and then build the aliens or the monsters around that. And it's like that's like these movies that should be secondary. Give us a good alien fight, give us some good action sequences, and then sprinkle a little like character growth in there for some character, but in no meaning. It doesn't have to be in a meaningful way. It could be something silly like some Marine trying to get home to his family, or just something
right, yeah.
goofy.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's what I think
that's
too. Like they try to make them because the first Predator and the first Alien movie were very much just like horror and suspense, like thriller
yeah,
kind of things.
Yeah.
And like Aliens comes out and it's a big action blockbuster, and like in a lot of ways, because it's definitely not a horror movie. The Aliens is an action movie, and then Alien is a horror movie. But I feel like ever since Aliens, they've just tried to make more action with these movies, and like
yeah,
you completely lose the sense of like dread and fear, and just like the tension that like these things existing would cause. Like, and that's why Alien, in my opinion, like worked so well in the first one, because Cameron did a great job with Aliens, like, by introducing just, a ton of aliens, but still making it, like, very, like, suspenseful and, like,
yeah,
Yeah.
scary in a lot of ways. Whereas, like, you keep moving on and it's just like, well, let's just throw more of them in there and then just, more shooting and more it's like they Michael Bay'd 'em. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like more explosions, like, and just I don't know. So I hope they just in the end, I don't really care if it's female led, I don't care if it's chimpanzee led. I don't care what it could be all CG for
Just
all
make
we
it a
care.
good movie.
Yeah, just make it a good movie. Like, don't focus on the series or what. Just focus on making a good movie. That's where I'm at with it. Like, that's it. So, but that's pretty much it, I think, for that one. So let us know down in the comment section what you guys think about this. Are you kind of like us, where let I mean, it's not Fox anymore because, like, I guess this all was happening under the Fox umbrella at the time. But in the end, it's like Fox and boys, get your stuff together. Let's focus on making a good movie here because I think everybody would love to see a good Alien and a good Predator movie again someday. So Let us know what you guys think about this down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our third main topic here today brings us into the DC universe and back into a Wonder Woman topic in particular, because Patty Jenkins was recently gave some little minor update on the proposed like spin-off movie that she actually had planned in the Wonder Woman franchise. So it came out like a while ago that she was like working on one, that she was going to be filming the spin-off that there's still not a whole lot of details really known about it, but she was going to film the spin-off before Wonder Woman 3, and that was pretty much the extent of the news that came out. And she was speaking more about it today and just dropped a little bit more information that was kind of interesting in a lot of ways. Because she mentioned that not only would it kind of tie in to the events of like Wonder Woman 84, the upcoming one that's coming out to HBO Max and theaters on December 25th, but she mentioned it's going to be like taking place kind of in between the end of Wonder Woman 1, and then events would carry on, like events that are occurring in Wonder Woman 84 would kind of be happening in it, but then it would also lead in to Wonder Woman 3, which that's interesting. This is they're going to be telling the story, kind of jumping through, I don't know, almost 3 timelines at that point. Because normally you'd think, okay, it's going to be a prequel and lead into the second one or whatever. But the fact that they're going to have this kind of tie into like all 3 movies in a lot of ways and be like a segue into, from one to another, I find kind of interesting. We still don't have a whole lot of information on the who, what, whens, and wheres, but I don't know. I trust in Patty Jenkins. I'm excited. I'm excited to see where Wonder Woman 84 is going. Normally, a lot of times when like studios and everything just put stuff straight on a streaming service or something, it sometimes is worrisome because a lot of times it means they don't have a lot of confidence in it. But I think I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say that it's going on HBO Max pretty much because of the pandemic and everything, more so than anything. Um, because I have no reason to doubt Patty Jenkins at this point. I love the first Wonder Woman, and I mean she did Monster before that. She's a phenomenal director, so I imagine Wonder Woman 84 is going to be good. I mean, it's got Pedro Pascal in it, who everybody loves right now because of Mandalorian,
True.
and it also has Kristen Wiig playing Cheetah, which I think some people are kind of tempered by the look of Cheetah, at least the CG of Cheetah, because I was actually happy they went with the whole Minerva Cheetah. Like that's what I wanted them to do. I didn't want them to like, I don't know, not go all in on that. You know how like a lot of these movies,
They
it's
literally
like,
made her like a cheetah woman. Didn't
exactly.
They? Yeah.
That's the approach.
Which
I
is
wanted
what
them to.
that's the curse. That's
Yeah.
it's supposed to happen. Yeah.
Not like a lady in a costume. It's like
Yeah, and like, but with a lot of times with these kind of movies, especially back in the day, they wouldn't go all in on these things. Like they just like, well, we can't just make them a cheetah person, and they just.
Well, they didn't really have the
cheetah suit.
technology, I feel like, to do that either back in the day.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good example of like something recently where they just kind of.
I mean, a good example that is the Fantastic Four movies that we talked about a few weeks ago, where they didn't do Galactus as the
There you go.
Galactus from the comic books. They did that stupid diarrhea cloud of whatever.
Instead of like a giant guy.
and you lose the entire impression that giant character, that giant evil villain gives off when you start messing with their look and their design and their motivations and stuff. And so there's a reason these characters have endured for 60, 80, 90, 100 years. So,
Yeah. So that's I don't know. I'm excited for it. I hope it's better than what the CG, because I will say, even in some of those trailers, the CG did look pretty spotty for Cheetah.
I did see that.
Yeah. Maybe it's just the frame rate, everything. I don't know. We'll see. Because a lot of times the shots in the trailers always aren't finished shots, and then if it's supposed to be 60 hertz or something, 60 frames per second in that shot, maybe it was only 30. Who knows?
Yep.
Even though movies are normally shot in 25 frames per second. I'm just trying to be optimistic here. Maybe it was just unfinished. I don't know.
It's possible.
Yeah. So we'll just have to wait and see, and at least we'll all be able to find out. Pretty damn soon here. This in Christmas at this point. It's only a month away, and it's going to be on HBO Max. So Are you guys gonna go out to the theaters to try to see Wonder Woman 84? You just gonna? You guys even have HBO Max? Am I the only one right now?
No, I
No, I've
don't.
got it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. I'm
Yeah.
personally, especially since I got that new TV, I'm actually looking forward to just watching it on HBO Max. So I'm looking forward to being able to
I'll
stay safe and watch it.
I don't think I'm
Honestly.
gonna march out to
I'll
the
be at the
theater.
theater. I'll be at the theater. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna be strategic about it. I'm gonna look for probably a matinee showing during the week when other people are at work, and I'm gonna look
Yeah.
for the one that doesn't have a lot of people in the theater. Make sure everybody's spaced out far enough. With being able to order your tickets online and be able to select your own
Right.
seats. I mean, I can hop on 45 minutes for a showing and kind of get a good impression of how many people are actually going to be at that showing, and where the good seats are, and whether or not it
That's a
looks
good point.
doable. So I'm probably that's my plan as of right now. Now things may get worse, and we may get to that date, and I may be like, screw it, come on HBO Max, let's go. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you. That was what I was gonna say too. With I remember back when I was debating on going and seeing Tenet, which I haven't, and I'll be able to watch it on my new TV here in like 2 weeks. So
That you and that
I'm
new
looking forward to
TV.
that. I just got it, dude.
I helped you
about
set it up.
I
It's heavy. It was
This was
big.
just 3 hours ago, man.
Yeah.
Okay. All I've got to do was the first thing that we did watch. No, I didn't really watch too much. I was making food during the process, but the Mando episode where we watched that. But then obviously I went straight for the portal scene in Endgame. So
That didn't look bad. It didn't.
it looks great, dude. And that honestly,
Bad. It wasn't.
It looked great, despite I didn't actually have the 4K disc for it. I just streamed it off Disney
Oh,
Plus,
okay.
Yeah.
and it still looked great. Like
Yeah.
I actually don't have.
It's all right.
It looked good, dude. It looked clean.
You can borrow
Clean.
my 4K disc of it.
Oh, I got one. I ordered it. Like
Okay.
I spent $10 on it because, like I said, like I stopped kind of like I know I never had the an OLED TV to really watch it on. But I have like the 4K player. I used to buy everything on 4K, but then it just got to the point where like everything I have all the streaming services essentially now. It's just like
Sure.
I
Convenience.
just it's convenience, and I really wasn't getting much out of it not having an OLED TV. In all honesty, I just had a regular 65-inch run-of-the-mill 4K TV, which is barely 1080p upscaled when you're looking at it. You know what I mean? That's when you don't have an OLED, you're not really living as far as that goes. Like it's like don't even bother. It's not the same thing. Like you're not going to be missing out if you just stream it at that point. Like in all reality, but yeah. But as soon as I ordered that, I was like, this is also a good time to order 4Ks because they're all like $15-20 off. So fun fact for everybody: if you don't have like The Dark Knight on 4K and like that whole franchise, they're like $10 a piece right now, each one.
It's
So
not bad.
then like Joker with Joaquin was only $8, like marked down a hell of a lot. I almost got Rick. You'd be interested in this. I just didn't feel like spending the money on it because I just spent a lot of money on that damn TV. But they had the Skywalker Saga Collector's Edition in all 4K.
That's cool.
And it was
Yeah.
marked down like I think it was like 50 or $100 off, but it was still $200.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll tell you what though, I would have.
Is that episodes 1 through 9?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
and it comes with like comes with a special like black box that has like the Death Star printed on it, and the box opens up from the side to reveal like a silver box that says like Star Wars on it. Then you open it up like a book, and like each page has like disc 1, 2, and 3, disc 1, 2, and 3, and it has it on 4K and in Blu-ray and digital for all 9 movies, and they
Not
have
so bad.
special like edition like special features discs and all that kind of
Sure.
jazz with it. Supposedly, they're not like there was like another series like collector's edition that came out like I don't know 10 years ago or something, and it has most of the special features that one does, but not all of them. But then there's also new special features that people made for exclusively for this. So
That's cool.
yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what though, the only reason I didn't get it because it was well, I haven't got it yet. We'll say undecided. but I didn't feel like spending $200, and then, but I would have instantly clicked order if the original theatrical editions of
Very true. I was going to ask
3,
about
4, and
that.
5 were on there, but they're not. Like, I still have the DVD releases though that came with the theatrical release and the digital, the new ones. I have those still.
Yeah.
That are in that small format, like
Which one are we talking about?
the DVD releases that came with the original theatrical cuts. Like the theatrical cut.
Are they in a different format? It's been a while since
They're
I've
in a
watched them.
yeah, they're in a different format. They're not
Like
the
the
full
squash screen,
Like
yeah.
it's a very weird. It's like I don't know. It's like they intentionally did it just to get at people. But I went and bought them. And I still have them. They're actually sitting on next to
I
my
feel
TV
like
right
mine say widescreen on them.
now.
I feel
You
like
have to let me know if I just got a bad set or something. Because if I did, I'm going to lose my.
No, I
mind.
can totally see them releasing like different variations of them. Because I mean, I remember even back with the VHS tapes, I had the individual ones with like the poster prints on them, but then they came out with like 2 or 3 different 3-box sets. Like one that had like Vader on it, one had Yoda on it. I think one even had Boba on it. I can't remember.
Yeah, I remember that. So
Yeah, but and they were like they all came out. Those ones may have came out around the same time. I can't remember. I remember I had the individual ones, which I still wish I had those the VHS tapes of, and then I had the Vader set because
yeah, that's the one
Vader.
you had. Yeah,
Right. But yeah, that's the only reason I didn't get like pull the trigger instantly. But another fun note, I know this is completely off topic in a lot of ways, but it's just fun facts for everybody out there. Coming out soon, I think in sometime in December for all you Lord of the Rings fans. 4K collector's editions are coming out in like 2 weeks. I think maybe even next Friday. So like because they were available for pre-order on there on Best Buy's like site. So I know if anybody's been looking out for the Lord of the Rings trilogy in 4K, it's coming.
There you go.
Just a week or two. I almost bought that too. There's a lot of things I almost bought. I'm looking at this bunch of stuff. Just didn't feel like spending all damn money on it. So, but anyway, let's just get back on topic here and wrap this one up here. What do you guys think here about this? Just your final thoughts on the spin-off itself of the Wonder Woman thing. Is that something you're really interested in? Because offhand, I gotta say, like, I don't really know how much I care about like the Themyscira and stuff without Wonder Woman in a lot of ways. Because like I like Wonder Woman. Like I think what Patty Jenkins did with the Amazons and stuff is cool. I don't know if offhand it's really enough to carry its own movie, in all honesty.
Well, that was kind of my question. Was I mean, so this spinoff is supposed to be focused on Themyscira and the Amazon culture, the Amazons there. I'm guessing from what you just said. So I mean, I'm a huge DC fan, so that's my jam.
I'm gonna watch it.
I'll go watch it. I'm not really sure. Like, it sounds like if they're trying to bridge the gap between the Wonder Woman movies, that it's going to deal with time travel. It's going to have time jumps, or maybe not time travel, but it's going to have definite time jumps. Maybe this is their way to explain why Wonder Woman is set in World War One and then 84, and then I think I've heard, or at least the theory is that the third movie will bring her into the modern day. So maybe it deals with where she goes in this in between time, if she goes back to Themyscira, or what's going on Themyscira to where she has to leave. I don't know. And there's a lot of interesting possibilities there. And as a big DC fan, um, I've seen the Amazons done well, and I've seen them done poorly. And like you said, I trust Patty Jenkins to do it well, and I'd be interested in seeing how that film played out.
Right. Yeah, and that is the leading. That's what Patty herself said. That like I forget her exact quote, but she said essentially that like logically the next step after 84 would to bring her into today. So that's presumably where she intends on going with it. Which I'm actually I want to see that. I don't know about you guys, but like I like period pieces and like they're fine and everything. And like when you go back, I find it hard, like personally, to say like something set like 20 years ago is a period piece, but it feels a little pretentious when you say that.
84
like,
is more than 20 years
not,
ago.
Yeah, not to make us too old, but 84 is going to be, by the time this movie comes out, 84 is going to be almost 30 years.
I know it's got
40.
It's
40 years ago.
It's I look at it in a lot of ways. Like I get it. It's technically speaking, by all intensive purposes, it is a period piece because it's set in a particular period of time. Like I get it, but I feel like it's like the Christmas movie or not a Christmas movie argument with like, Die Hard. It's like,
Yeah.
is it really when it's like still like the modern day? Like, like the 80s, 90s, like 2000s, it's like, yeah, is it it's not the same as going back to World War One, like, that's a
Sure.
period piece,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
for
in
sure.
my mind, like, when I think period piece, I'm not thinking of the '90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
No.
I don't know. But, I mean, it is, technically, I get it. It's just, I don't know. It sounds like a pretentious thing to say, like, "Oh, I made a period piece drama," like, "Oh, really? When did you set it? Like, the Victorian age? Like, where?" Like, "No, it was 1984." Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just sounds kinda stupid, but I
Yeah.
get it.
Well, I
I
don't think she's playing it off as a period
no,
piece. I think
I
she's
no, yeah.
I think that people are, because the first one was a period film, because it was based in the natural inclination is to continue that speak about the follow-up film because it's not set in modern day. So
Right. No, I'm with you. I just like, oh yeah, I've been rambling over here, dude. My main point with that whole thing is like I'm fine with period pieces and everything, but I really prefer my movies to be told in like the modern day for whatever reason.
I get
Like,
that.
okay,
I
you know
feel
what I
that
mean?
too.
I'll tell you
I'm
why
with
too.
you.
A lot of times, dude, with like when you go back and watch like old sitcoms like Friends or something, or even just a lot of movies in general, like pop culture jokes and like references and things like that, like there's nothing that's gonna date your content more than like you be relying on that sort of stuff. Because
Sure.
someone like a kid today going back to watch Friends, they're not gonna know what the hell's going on. Like
Yeah.
the show's built around that kind of stuff, and it's like it just is what it
Or
is.
like
John, I think we
Seinfeld or
froze you. Yeah, like some of them work better than others. Like I still go back and watch Friends and stuff, and it's fine, like so stuff. But there's just you catch it every once in a while when you're watching a movie. Like like references will just go way over your head, mainly in like comedies and kind of situations like that. These are not detractors. Like obviously, with the first Wonder Woman's great. The period pieces can be great. I just think they're kind of funny sometimes. But with all that down, let us know what you guys think down in the comment section. But we got to bring John back in because it looks like his camera froze. But let us know down in the comment section below what you guys think about the Amazonian Themyscira based spin-off series coming here from Patty Jenkins and how it's going to be connecting not just Wonder Woman 1 and Wonder Woman 2, but going to be weaving in and out of the entire time period there. So that's kind of interesting in my opinion. So let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. All right, guys. So our next topic here brings us to upcoming David Leitch directed Bullet Train film, which centers around a group of assassins on a train, and they're all trying to go. They're all after the same hit on the train, and that's not a whole lot of details out about it. But they just added Lady Gaga to the cast, which I gotta say, but God, I keep it. Submit topics, questions, even yeah, they're right next to each other, guys. It's been a long day. No, I'm actually kind of excited about Lady Gaga joining this cast in general for a couple of different reasons here. One, the movie itself does sound like really like I don't know. It sounds like it has a lot of potential. If did you guys watch the Snowpiercer movie with Chris Evans?
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen parts of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I feel like if they can capture like I know it's a completely different kind of movie, but like it's on a train and it's like it's the whole thing's on a train and that's what this movie is supposed to be, it's supposed to be set on a train, the entire thing. And it's got a group of assassins and like that whole concept of all these assassins being on a train together, all going after the same hit. That sounds good. And then when you look at the cast, it's got not only Brad Pitt, but it's got I'm not familiar with Joey King, with an Aaron Taylor Johnson, Zazie Beetz, and then like Michael Shannon. Like, dude, I love me some Michael Shannon. So, and then call it what you will, but I really like Lady Gaga. So,
Yeah.
and I thought she did really good in
A Star is Born.
that's the one. I
A
thought she did
Star is
like granted that movie played into her strengths. I mean,
Yeah.
she is a singer.
It
Yeah.
was a huge departure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just easily fell into her strength. So, I mean, I'm not gonna say it was like I was blown away by her performance or anything, but I thought she did a great
She
job.
had to do yeah, she had to do some she had to it wasn't just about the singing. She had to do
She did. She
some
did.
dramatic scenes there. So yeah.
Yeah, I felt like her on-screen presence and chemistry with Bradley Cooper, I mean, it made like that movie that's been done 3 or 4 times now with a very, you know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It still made an
Mhm.
enjoyable watch for me, and, but I've always
Yeah.
just been a fan of Lady Gaga's music, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you have.
I like Lady Gaga, dude. Like, ever since Just Dance, dude, and that's not even like that's, like, probably the worst song on the album, but that was her first single, so I know all the hits, man. I know all the hits.
It's a
But
good song.
it's a good song. Monster was the best song of that album, but that was the title of the CD as well.
Are you
The title
are
track
you
was the best.
are you Gaga for Lady Gaga?
No, you could say that. You
That's
could say that.
that's good. That's good.
That's like this.
You
I'm sorry.
like
That's,
Krabby
that's all I
Patties,
can
don't you,
think about
Squidward?
is that you let Krabby Patties, don't you, Squidward? It's like there it is. Like, I don't know. What do you guys think of the movie itself, the Bullet Train movie, and the brief synopsis that I gave about it? What do you think about that? What's the sales pitch?
Sounds interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
got to get these assassins off this train. You know, like John said earlier.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I like the premise what you told me before, and that was before I knew the cast. So yeah, that's a strong cast, man.
Oh, I know. And then
The
David
kid that
Leitch, the director of John Wick, one of the directors of the John Wick franchise, and he was the one who separated and went and directed Atomic Blonde. So it was a director of Atomic Blonde, and it was, or was it was? Wait a minute, was he? Did he do Atomic Blonde and then Hobbs and Shaw? Or was that the? I think that was him. And then was
really
it Deadpool 2
Atomic
as
Blonde.
well? I have to look this up
Uh,
because I think it's I'm getting
Hobbs
them
and Shaw,
confused
man. That is
because
a
I think David Leitch did Atomic Blonde and then did Deadpool 2 and then Hobbs and Shaw and then now this. I think that was all
Hobbs
David
and
Leitch.
Shaw was a modern cinematic work of art. Dwayne Johnson. No, I'm totally kidding. Totally
The
kidding.
way Dwayne Johnson commands the screen.
Yeah.
It's true though. It's all true. It
Yeah.
actually was
He
a
plays
good
the
movie,
same
dude.
character in every movie.
So does Kevin
Sure.
Hart.
but he
Yeah.
plays it so well. that-
Mhm.
This is true. This is true.
There's a
I-
reason he is the highest paid actor of all time. And I was correct. He did John Wick 1, then the other director of John Wick did John Wick 2 and 3, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, and Hobbs and Shaw. That's his work as of late.
Did you see Atomic Blonde?
Yeah, I liked it. Thought it was good.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. I'm gonna have to like go back and rewatch it,
With
'cause I
Charlize
remember-
Theron and James McAvoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I remember
good.
feeling like it wasn't as good like as I wanted it to be. There
It
was
could have been
another
better.
movie.
It could have been
There
better.
was another movie that came out right around that same time about like a female assassin, but she
Yeah.
was like a Russian double agent too, and like
Yeah, that was by the French guy, Fifth Element
Okay.
guy. The guy directed Fifth
Okay.
Element, I think. And yeah, that movie, I think it was called Hannah.
Hannah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was it. Regardless, I like one of them I
Something like
liked and
that.
one of them I didn't like, and I thought it was Atomic Blonde. I thought, oh well. Anyway, regardless, the
I
rest
know
of those
that
movies
one
were
though,
all good.
the other one you were talking about, that one like tanked and was a terrible movie. And like it got so like bad reviews, I never even went to watch it because it looked good.
Okay.
And then I
Well,
never went to watch
maybe
it.
I'm getting confused. Just
Maybe,
because it's-
but a lot of people didn't really like Atomic Blonde either. Like some
Okay.
people did, some people didn't. So you could be referring to Atomic Blonde. I know, like of the two though, they did come out around the same time, and I know the other one got
Yeah.
it got shat on a little bit,
okay.
which was a bit of a
I-
turnoff. So
I do think it's interesting that Lady Gaga. I kind of like this. I hope she can pull it off. I like this move for her. It definitely does not. It keeps her from being stereotyped too much. If
That's
she can
true.
pull this off.
yeah,
So very smart move career wise. If she's looking to continue the acting gig, which obviously it looks like she is. So.
Yeah. That's what I
to
was
some
thinking.
degree. Yeah, because I mean, this being outside of her wheelhouse, you would think she like went for the role herself. You know what I mean? She sought it out herself, as opposed to like David Leitch calling up Lady Gaga because she's perfect.
Like he thought-
like,
Yeah.
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 you know what I mean?
I hope that she actually plays one of the assassins. Is like some
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like she could.
Ancillary character that's not. I think it would be an interesting. It would be interesting to see her, do something as that different.
yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, she had to do some dramatic. She had to put forth and show some dramatic chops in A Star Is Born. So like
sure,
maybe we're looking at the next Charlize Theron of
You
action movies, man.
never know.
maybe.
I just think you should cast Charlize Theron and everything. She's great.
Yeah, she
Like,
is good.
like she'd be perfect for this movie. She already worked with them. I wouldn't be surprised if she doesn't make a cameo, being that it's David Leitch. In all honesty, I still contend to this day that speaking of Charlize Theron, that
Theron.
if Zack if Zack Snyder didn't already cast Wonder Woman, that Charlize Theron would probably be Wonder Woman right now. If they would have still given like Patty Jenkins the role or the director,
Yeah.
sure.
Would
Because
she,
she was. I do because she worked with her on Monster, and
Monster.
she's perfect for Wonder Woman, dude. Like honestly, if I could have it anyway right now, I'd put Charlize Theron in the role of Wonder Woman. Right.
Theron or Theron?
Theron. Yeah, I don't know. It changes.
You
from time
think
to
you
time.
think she would do better than Gal's done with it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I think Gal's done good for what she's had, but I mean Gal Gadot is not like a thespian by I mean the only thing she really did prior to this was Fast and Furious movies as
Sure.
like a C character in them. And all things considered, she's done really good. I like her as Wonder Woman, but
Mhm.
I mean, especially after seeing what Patty Jenkins did with the other Amazons and the Themyscira and everything, like, tell me with a straight face that Charlize wouldn't have fit in perfectly with Robin Wright's character, and like, her, like, dude, would have been
Sure.
amazing. Like, and like, I don't know. Granted, I've been perfectly fine with Gal Gadot. I just think Charlize would have been a more, I don't know, not like I just think she was better suited for it, and especially if she was going to be like an older one, like Wonder. She gives off that tone of like
More
being an older,
mature.
person.
Yeah.
Like because Gal's just she still looks like a supermodel, even though she's
She
not.
does.
No, she was a supermodel.
Yeah,
I think
she's-
she was a model prior to going into acting, but she was also an Israeli soldier because they all have to be soldiers at one point. So it's not like she can't hold her own.
No.
So like I like that she can do a lot of her own action in the movie and everything. That's cool stuff. But like I don't know. That was my fan casting for Charlize Theron, and I just think that would have happened if given the monster situation.
Topic took a different turn for sure.
It's all connected, dude. We're talking about David Leitch and Atomic Blonde, and then so obviously I'm talking about Charlize Theron. Like, so, but anyways, you guys got anything else you want to add about the Bullet Train movie? I don't really like the name, but
I don't.
I'm also, speaking of which, excited to see Brad Pitt in like a role like this again too. Because did you guys see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yeah.
Dude, I loved him in Once Upon a Time. He
Yeah.
was awesome.
So
in that
good.
movie.
It's a good movie.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, that last act of that movie, man, Brad Pitt just nails that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so good. Like that was great. So I'm looking forward to seeing Brad Pitt to go do something because we're never getting World War Z 2 apparently. Like,
Yeah.
which actually
I'm
turned out to
really
be good.
I'm curious how serious this movie is supposed to be. Some of these movies, if they have fun with it and aren't too serious, can be just amazing. I still remember one of my favorite movies of all time is the Shoot 'Em Up.
Yeah,
which is
Clive
just
Owen.
Clive Owen, and yeah, it's such a good movie, and it's just it doesn't take itself seriously, and maybe if they have a really spectacular plot-driven movie, it could be a really good like high watermark cinema film deal. But if not, just have fun with it and make it the funnest movie you can too. I would also be super excited for that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think with David Leitch attached to it, the action's at least going to be on point. I'll give it that much. Like no matter
Definitely.
what. So we'll just have to see. I don't know how highbrow it's going to really go with a bunch of assassins on a train. I feel like the more have fun with it route probably be what we're looking at. So which. That's kind of what I'm expecting from this. What I would like to see from it. Especially if Brad Pitt could just be that character from. Can you imagine just his character from Once Upon a Time? Just that's the assassin.
That'd be good.
I'd be good with that. That'd be good. So, question is, guys, what do you think about the news of Lady Gaga joining the cast of David Leitch's Bullet Train's a stacked cast? Like I said, Michael Shannon, Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, just ton of big talents on there. So I'm looking forward to all. I was looking forward to with the announcement of Lady Gaga, but as John said, once you go and look at the rest of the cast, I mean, what's there not to really be excited for? So let's have a see where this goes. But let us know down in the comment section what you guys think about this. All right, guys. So our penultimate topic brings us over to a galaxy far, far away. And no, this is not the Mandalorian spoiler discussion. First, that's coming next. That's our ultimate topic. Our final topic will be the Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5 spoiler discussion. So stay tuned for that. But this one comes to us from, I actually don't remember the exact source, but there's been news. I'm getting this off Screen Rant. And they are saying that there is kind of a rumor going around that the Obi-Wan series is looking to cast a female co-lead in some ways. And they're looking at the actress Naomi Scott to be taking that role. And there's been no news as to what the role would be. Just it's going to be a co-lead kind of thing, if you will, which makes sense that they'd be going that route in some ways, not necessarily making it be like a female or anything like that lead, but just having another lead in the show, because like the Mandalorian, for instance, is a very much Mandalorian, and for now, Baby Yoda is the co-lead. You know what I mean?
Baby
So like,
Yoda.
yeah. So I mean, it's interesting in that way. So it's not like surprising that they would be looking to cast someone in some aspect to be a co-lead. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Naomi Scott's work, but the two movies that come to mind, obviously off the top, is Aladdin, which she was really great as Jasmine in Aladdin. But then she was also in the recent Power Rangers movie as the Pink Ranger, and I thought she was good in that. Like
that was a weird movie. Weird take on the Power Rangers.
Dude, that movie like wasn't like it like kind of bombed the box office, but like it was
like the whole Green Ranger thing and Rita, and just
Rita sucked. Rita was in like a different movie, man, because they were going like for this like sci-fi like modern approach on Power Rangers, but then what's her name who played her? She was like from the 90s cartoon. Though.
Yeah,
I forget who played her. I forget her name.
Zack and Miri Make a Porno. Was that?
Yeah, and I can't remember. All I remember, like she directed. Dude, I don't know. I don't care. Who cares? I don't care. Like because she was the worst part of the movie. So, like, it's like the movie was like decent. Everyone in it, like I liked the guy who played the Red Ranger, Tommy. Thought he was good as Tommy and everything. I wanted that. I don't know. Bryan Cranston came back and did the voice for
Zordon.
Yeah, like
he had like a live action part in the beginning too. That was kind of strange.
It was cool to see that though too. Like I thought it was good. Like honestly speaking, the movie was decent up until Rita Repulsa comes in, because she's just in a different movie, man.
She's Repulsa.
She was repulsive.
Yeah,
like the performance was repulsive.
It was.
But not to talk shit, it's probably better than anything I could have done, especially in that particular role. What do you guys think of the Obi-Wan series looking to have like a co-lead in general? Like, be it a female co-lead or any type of co-lead, or you just want it to be like, I just want Obi-Wan. What are you guys doing? What do you guys think?
No, I mean, you gave us a little preview of this topic, before we got on stream here, and I was, I was excited, but just now when you were going over it, I thought, yet again, another missed opportunity. If this is in any way a love interest for Obi-Wan or anything like that, then right there you could have had Rey's parentage be traced back to this Obi-Wan series, and this could be her potential mom, and obviously it's not now, because episode 9 happened, so obviously that's not the case. But I just remember back to all those theories and fan theories over the years about who's Rey's parents could be and a possible tie to Obi-Wan, and this would have been a really cool way to kind of play off all those fan theories if the movies hadn't gone a different route with it. So besides Yeah, besides my disappointment with that aspect of it, yeah, I mean, again, great actress, great casting if they get her. I think she'll work exceptionally well with Ewan McGregor. That right there is a very strong cast, her and Ewan McGregor. So
Very true.
that's the one thing like Mandalorian, like going into Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal. Yeah, I mean, good actor. He really hadn't been in a lot that was like high profile, so he was pretty low profile for that. And
Yeah.
no, uh, Kara, what's her Kara Carano?
Gina
Gina
Carano.
Carano.
Gina
Cara Dune.
Carano. Thank you, Cara Dune. I'm combining the names. Um, she was relatively, she's a relatively green actor. She hasn't done a whole lot. We did have Carl Weathers, who has plenty of acting chops to his resume, but that series didn't have the cast that it looks like Obi-Wan will start with. So
Yeah.
it's a great starting point for the cast.
Yeah, I
Or
mean
for
the director of because we talked about it before on the show. Can't remember her name, but one of the directors of The Mandalorian, the first, pretty much the best episode of the first season, the one where it showed the Mandalorians coming in and like helping everybody. I think it was may
Yeah.
have been the second to last or last. I can't remember.
Yeah. I think
But
yeah.
that director is actually directing the entire Obi-Wan series. So like unlike a lot of other TV shows, like Lucasfilm liked what she did so much on like Mandalorian, because she directed 2 episodes of the first season, I believe, and they got her to do the entire Obi-Wan series. So like, and after watching her episodes of Mandalorian season 1, I was all on board with that because she like had the best episodes were done by her. So
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to. You got that. You got Ewan McGregor coming back as Obi-Wan. That's really all I need. So anything else is just kind of like cool gravy. Just let's
see how it goes.
Yeah, let's see how it goes from there. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I
Yeah.
like Naomi Scott's work thus far too. So like you said, good cast. So I'm looking forward to it. You guys, do you really think? What would you think though? Before we move on to the spoiler review, what if they were to go with like a female lead? What do you think it would be, like a love interest though, or
I
do you
don't
think it would?
did
Just,
Obi-Wan and canon really ever have a love interest? I mean, they can make up what they want to.
Kind of did in the Clone Wars. It was one of the Mandalorians.
Yeah, yeah.
But they never.
Because he was so
did
against
that.
Anakin having a love interest being a Jedi, and yeah, it's a little hypocritical on his part. But I mean, I
Well,
guess this is a
after
different
the
situation.
The Jedi Order, he's no longer a Jedi.
It's a different situation.
It
Yeah,
is different. I don't know. I don't know if I just don't see it. I don't know.
This series is supposed to fill in the gaps in between episodes 3 and 4, correct? His kind of
Yeah.
time on Tatooine. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of unexplored territory there. I think giving him a love interest I wouldn't find that to be too.
it's not out of the question.
Yeah, I wouldn't find it to buck up against what the character thought, or how he felt about things prior to that. I think obviously a lot changed when episode 3 went down. So
Right. No, I'm with you. All I know is like kind of like with the monster movies, I just want the monsters to fight, and like there's a lot of things where like love stories just don't really mesh well. Like a lot, like especially if they're not done well. Like I don't know, the prequels, for instance. Love story wasn't done very well. Like
Sure.
it didn't turn out good. A lot of comic book movies try to shoehorn in a romance, and like not all of them work. Some do,
No.
like Andrew Garfield, Gwen Stacy worked perfectly. That was
Yeah.
great. Like Pepper and Tony's good, but
Yeah.
no
Well,
work a lot.
I could be reading. I could be jumping to the most simplistic and obvious plot plot narrative that they could go with by saying love interest. Maybe there is no love interest. Maybe it strictly is a they just
Platonic
happen to be
partnership.
two platonic. Yeah, partnership. Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect
Yeah,
way
who
to put
knows?
it. So
She could be the barkeep. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
She could not be in it at all. This was just a rumor.
she could be his therapist.
Yeah,
He
Yeah.
was
It's like, I
getting
got a lot
therapy
to talk
on
about.
Tatooine from everything he went through, and
he probably
you know.
needs it.
Oh
he
yeah,
probably does.
Like,
but you know what we all do. When it
That's
comes
true.
down to it,
We-
we all need somebody to talk to.
It's very true.
But
And I mean, those lonely desert nights on Tatooine, I'm sure. Like,
lonely indeed.
Like, I know.
After your apprentice has slaughtered hundreds of children in the name of the dark side of the
Yeah,
Force.
and gone on
Yeah.
to literally, rule the galaxy. So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a pretty dark time for Obi-Wan. We could
just like,
definitely say
damn.
that. So, but yeah, the question is, guys, what do you think about this? Are you excited to see that someone of the, let's just say, acting caliber being added, potentially added to the cast of Obi-Wan? And what do you think about the potentially there being a co-lead in general, be it female co-lead, male co-lead, Baby Yoda co-lead, that sort of thing? Do you just want it to be the Obi-Wan show? Because part of me kind of does, but at the same time, we're getting Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan, and that's really, I mean, that's enough for me. So I mean, I'll take it or leave it. Don't matter to me. I'm just excited to see the show. So let us know what you guys think down in the comment section below. All right, everybody, our final, our ultimate topic is here. This is the Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5, Chapter 13, The Jedi. Spoiler review discussion is going to happen right now, so that's your warning. If you haven't seen it somehow, probably spoiled all over the internet anyway, with massive amounts of thumbnails out there just showing everything that happens anyway, all the name drops that happen. Sucks to have internet sometimes, so it is what it is. But we're going to get right into it here. And this episode, I got to say, like we kind of talked about it off the top here, is probably my favorite episode of the season so far. And I don't know. I don't know if it's just because it's like, we got Ahsoka in it, and like I like Jedis and lightsabers and shit. Maybe I'm biased for that. I don't know for sure yet. That could have a huge part of it. Maybe it was just because I thought they did such a good job bringing Ahsoka Tano to life on screen. Like I thought that was pretty impressive, all things considered. I think, I mean, one of the things that I primarily said, I told Rick when I was first watching the episode is like, Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano was absolutely perfect.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
Literally, the way she looks, the way she acted, it was just
her voice. Like,
I couldn't have done it in any better of a way. Like I couldn't imagine.
You could have been a better. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I'm having trouble thinking of how it could have been done any better. In all honesty, like I think it's perfect because, and like I said before, it's like it's very rare when you have like the opportunity to have like an actress that both looks exactly like the character you're trying to portray, who is also an equally talented actress. So, win-win. So I mean, what did you guys think of? First though too, I was really happy with the fact that they didn't cock tease you with this. Like it was like
that's a good way to put it.
The episode starts. They didn't blue ball anybody. Like the episode starts with 2 white lightsabers. Like bam, you're in it. It wasn't this, oh, we're never gonna see her. This is a a myth in the wind kind of thing. Like no, starts out. She opens the show. What did you guys think about it? I liked that.
I liked it. It was definitely intense at 5:30 in the morning when I was watching it before work. It's like
nice.
Yeah, it was definitely a shocker.
It's a good way to wake you up, I guess. Though.
Oh, it was. Yeah. It definitely was.
Yeah,
good way to start the day.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't just the Ahsoka reveal that we got in there. We got
there's a lot.
We got Baby Yoda's backstory. Yeah. We got Baby Yoda's name, little Grogu. Little Grogu. A lot of people, like Rick, you were saying too, like a lot of people are like hating on the name, and I gotta say, like, as where I don't really like. I wouldn't have chose the name Grogu because when I look at him, like I was telling Rick this, when I look at Baby Yoda, when I look at this little fella here, I don't see Grogu. Like it's like Grogu reminds me. It just doesn't remind me, but it just sounds like a more brutish name,
like a Dragon Ball Z character.
Yeah, it sounds like Nappa or Broly or like Half Lord Bjornsson. The mountain, like Grogu. Like this sounds like some big brawler dude, not that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I do have to say, I am very happy that they didn't go with the old stereotypical like Yado or something because I told Rick like you had Yoda and you had Yaddle. We don't even know what the name of their species is, okay? We haven't been given that by George or Lucasfilm or anybody. We still don't know what their species is, what their deal is, any of that. So we know of 2 of these little green big-eared things, and it's named Yoda and Yaddle. Little effing lazy, in my opinion, okay? Like, so I was just very happy that this little dude wasn't named Yado or something like stupid. Like not that it's stupid. I actually kind of like the name Yedo, but it's a
Yeah.
little on the nose. You know what I mean? Like I'm glad they didn't go a lazy route like that. So I mean, I'm good with that. And then we learned that he was also a Padawan being trained by the Jedi Council on Coruscant. So I mean, that was cool. I feel like, do you guys feel like we got like almost too much information? Like now there's no more surprises with this, like with Baby Yoda's backstory. Like we got a lot of his backstory already.
Yeah, we got a
Right.
lot of it, but I think they very intentionally had her say that there was a scene missing, or there was a dark period in his memories.
But that was
Um,
just when he was being tested on, I imagine. Like
Or
that's where
just
it all
when he
goes
was
black.
alone and yeah.
no, she said someone took him and hid him from the Jedi Temple, from Coruscant. So I think there's more there. I think that was an intentionally left vague so that they can explore where he actually went, because Mando didn't rescue him from being tested on. Mando rescued him from that pod that was in that bunker that was
Where did he even
being
come from?
raised.
Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, who put him there?
Yeah.
How did he get there? And so I think there's still plenty of mystery to delve into as the series goes on with him.
true.
Just
Yeah.
jumping back to his name real quick. I think his name, it's funny to me. I think the name is fine. I like it. I think it's,
Me too. I'm fine
it
with it.
it's a little hard, but I think it's still Grogu. It's pretty cute. Um, but anyway, the one thing I wanted to say about the name was, it was one of those things where they were kind of between a rock and a hard place. They should have never let it go this long. Wherever they
Yeah.
got him from, I don't know if they didn't have the name when they created the character. I don't know if they, were trying to come up with what sounded the best and they just didn't have anything, or if they felt like it was. But it was one of those things where if they would have just given us the name right away, if they would have said, we need you to track down Grogu, and that was who Mando was going after. They didn't have to explain that it was a baby or a child or whatever. They could have just
Just
given him
Grogu.
a name to go. Exactly. They could have given him a name to go with it. It would have been just as shocking. Nobody would have ever referred to him as Baby Yoda, and you wouldn't have had what we've had 12, 15 months of people referring to him as Baby Yoda. So no matter what name they came up with, it wasn't going to be as cute and whatever as Baby Yoda is. So I think it was just one of those things where it's done, it's out there. Now people need to kind of move on from it. But I think they let it go too long, and I'm not even sure why.
I
Yeah.
thought
It was very much a damned if you do, damned if you don't. What do you
one
think? What are you
Yeah.
saying, Rick?
one of the things that Rob mentioned, and when I rewatched it, it's just so fucking adorable. Excuse my language. When Mando finally says like Grogu, and he just looks up at him, and his ears perk up, and he's just like, "Yeah, like that." That was
Dude, yeah,
good.
that's what I told Sarah the same thing. Like it was like every time Mando, and then even when Ahsoka first said like Grogu, like his ears perked up and he like
He
made
just
some
Yeah.
cooing noises. I told Sarah, I was
That's
like,
me.
that's like the cutest shit in the world. Like as soon as he hears his name, he's just like, huh? Just like it's
That's
like a little
me.
puppy. Yeah,
like
like
somebody finally
good.
knows my name.
Yeah. Which also too makes you think like given the discussion and like that he was having the discussion, quote unquote, with Ahsoka, like he's still very infantile to us and like to
Mhm.
Mando even, but like he's obviously like a little bit, he knows what's going on. Like, like he knows his name,
He
like he
knows when people
responds
tell
to,
him things like,
yeah, like
like
he,
get back in your seat, and he just goes back to his seat.
yeah, and he was
Yeah,
like, yeah,
I've always been under the impression that he's like a toddler type age, but maybe he's more like a 6, 7, 8-year-old
He just
kid
can't speak.
that, yeah, just doesn't speak yet or something.
well, maybe
Because
it's
of
too
because
like he's just like, you know how like trauma, like trauma victims and things like that. They just
yeah,
have like they regress a lot of like
sure,
basic human motor functions and stuff like in like real life. So maybe it's like maybe they're going for something like that with him too.
It's
Since
true.
you're saying they reference like these dark times and stuff that he went through. So I don't know, maybe just spitballing. Who knows?
yeah.
But
I mean, was the implication that he was there when Anakin attacked the younglings?
I mean,
Was that
dude,
the
that's what I kind of got from it. Like they
and maybe
didn't.
he was one of the few that got shuttled
Spared.
away and he's got not even spared, but just
Yeah.
like
Hidden.
got
Just
out,
saved,
got
yeah.
hidden, yeah.
Well, they even
Saved,
kind of made a reference to Anakin slightly without saying his name. She was saying
sure.
about, she's like, I can't train him. I've seen this kind of attachment, that's exactly what she's talking
Yeah,
about.
she knows
Totally.
exactly. And that's why too people have been saying, because Rick, you were talking about earlier with like people like speculating and like rumors about like a Luke Skywalker possibly appearing in like a later episode like Mandalorian or something, like, or just a future seasons down the road. But I saw someone like talking about it, this in general, just kind of thinking that like Ahsoka would kind of be a really good person to just meet with Luke at some point, just to kind of like tell him like a little bit of backstory about like his dad, because anytime Luke had to deal with his dad, it was always like it was either bad or he didn't know him, and it's like, and then all
Yeah.
he knows is at the end. Then it'd also be really poetic for Ahsoka to know that Anakin in the end was good, and
Yeah.
like, because like
Yeah.
she knows like the darkness, and like she saw the opposite of what Luke saw. So them both meeting would be kind of, I don't know, poetic and
Kind of
nice.
finish the story off for
Yeah, I mean, for both
Anakin.
of those two characters would like kind of put their stories at ease, at least when it comes to Anakin, because there's really Ahsoka knew him just as good as Obi-Wan did, but like
Yeah.
from a very different perspective, really. And like Obi-Wan's not there to be able to tell Ahsoka that Anakin went to the light side in the end. So like, and Luke could do that for her, and then she could fill him in. It's like, well, your dad was actually a really cool dude at one
Yeah.
point, like
Yeah.
So I mean
Because
that's I would think it would be cool. That
Obi-Wan never explained to Luke, about how like, well, at one point he was a good guy, like, and
Yeah,
he did a lot and he was powerful. They just kind of cut that out. So
right, which is why like it's kind of like like how we complain that like they didn't have a plan for the sequel trilogy. They didn't have a plan for Star Wars back then either, really.
No.
So like, I'm sure if they would have had like all that, George had it all in his head at once, they probably would have explained it a little bit more to him. But you would have lost a little air of mystery then. I think that's why I was kind of getting at with do we know too much about Baby Yoda now at this kind of point? Just because of the air of mystery, like, I don't know, just it kind of keeps you wanting more a lot of times, and like a lot of it's like, I don't know. It's just we got given a lot of info, like a lot, like the name, the backstory, like all these things that people have been kind of curious about. We kind of got. That's why. So I don't know. Like, there's obviously more they could do, but I don't know. I just I don't want it to I don't want it to get stale by any means. Like, and I tell you what, after seeing how like this episode kind of teased it in some ways, at least in my opinion, that like the kid ain't leaving Mando.
No,
it ain't
no.
happening. Like, I don't think it's gonna be. I think it might get to the point where Mando has the opportunity to hand them over.
He did in this episode, kind of.
No,
Well, due to that episode, that part at the
when
end of the
he
episode,
when he went to the ship and told him it was time to say, he said,
dude,
"It's time
I
to say
teared up.
goodbye." Oh man, that was like just
I
right in the
teared up.
heart. Just
Yeah.
like stabbed me right in the heart. I was just like, no.
Well, I was just like,
that was oof.
see, it didn't hit me that way because I literally knew the whole time. I'm sitting there like, there ain't no way in hell. There ain't no way in hell. For one, Lucasfilm is going to let that little Baby Yoda get off the damn screen. But for two, there ain't no way in hell Mando's going to just give him up.
No.
It ain't gonna happen.
He loves that baby.
But they could have separated them for a few episodes and then brought them back together at the end, which I thought was a real possibility. I thought maybe something with
like when
Ahsoka
Ash leaves Charizard with on the Charizard Island, because that's the vibe I got from that. Do you guys watch that episode of Pokemon?
Yeah.
Because like, dude, that got me in the feels, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought there was a chance that these two who have formed this, parent-child relationship bond, that I thought there was a chance there that he would leave him with her and that they would, she would be. They'd have to say goodbye, which just gutted me. But they ultimately didn't. So whatever. But
what do you guys think of like? I do have one kind of question on like. Oh yeah, forgot actually. Dude, the end, man. Thrawn, dude.
Thrawn.
We gonna get Thrawn in this or no? Or do you think we're gonna get an Ahsoka spinoff at some point? Because that'd be cool too.
before you, I feel like I need to be honest about something before we get too deep into this. So I've never watched Clone Wars or Rebels.
Mhm.
I watched the Clone Wars movie, the animated movie back when it
Oh
came out, and I
god.
remember liking it.
Oh,
But then
that's
the
terrible
series, the,
too.
the series, the series came out. It was okay. It wasn't.
Well,
I
if
actually
you
just
if
watched it
if you like
recently.
that, like, then you would love the show.
Well, I'm telling
Like
that's what I'm getting to is like I'm like 8 or 9 episodes into the show. I've actually been watching on my lunch breaks, because I feel like there's so much of that show and lore that's tied into what's going on in The Mandalorian, and I like what they're doing with The Mandalorian so much. I feel like I really missed something by not watching those shows,
mhm.
when they were out. So yeah, I'm going back and too, but some of these references that are coming out, like I know where they're from. Um, but I don't have the context to place with them too. So it's really cool to be able to go back, but I also feel like I'm missing something.
So you're not familiar with Thrawn then?
I actually remember him from the extended universe stuff, but I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
familiar with him. I'm not familiar with him in the context of this, the way they're using this universe. So I mean, don't hold anything back by any means. I just wanted that up front. Like
No,
this is
it's
all.
similar.
He went
Like
off into
Is
hyperspace
it
with Ezra Bridger, and
yeah, I mean it's similar. Not the characters he's with is similar, but like his character him like Thrawn himself, pretty much
okay?
the same guy from Heir to the Empire, the Legends material, and then the new Thrawn that is canon in the books. Like similar enough. It's like pulling the same guy and putting him into a different story. I mean, you know what I
Okay.
mean? That kind of thing. Like, 'cause I feel like the between all three forms because he's been in the Heir to the Empire trilogy back in the Legends material. Then he had his
Yep.
own like new Thrawn trilogy that like in the new Star Wars canon lore books, by the way, everybody. And then he has his third appearance in Star Wars Rebels, the show. He makes an appearance. And like I feel like for the most part, it's the same guy in all three, just being put in a different situation and like being
yeah.
Okay.
stuck around different cast. But it's like they
Did
did a good
you
job of making him the same guy.
did you both watch Rebels?
I've
I
seen.
It's not all of it. I
Yeah,
watched some of it, and
same.
then I
Okay.
watched the final 4 episodes because it was like its own mini thing
Yeah,
Okay.
with Darth Maul and Ahsoka,
Okay. Cool.
which was really good. Like,
yeah.
so I think I told you back in the day, like a while back, like if you haven't
Yeah.
watched any of them,
Just
just go watch that.
Yeah,
yeah.
Obi-Wan
No,
and
I'm trying to work my way through it, all of it now, but
Or
yeah.
the last thing of Clone Wars, rather, when they brought Clone Wars back, not Rebels. The
Yeah.
last 4 Clone Wars. Did you watch those last 4 Clone Wars?
Yeah.
It's on Disney Plus. Just watch
I know
it.
I'm going to. Yeah.
Yeah. Just what? It's
I was thinking
literally
about
just
that with Rebels, like diving more into that again.
well, the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars was like its own mini series. Like as they brought back and did one final season, quote unquote final, because they've done that twice now, for Clone Wars. But then the last 4 episodes of that last season are literally like it has its own title crawl. The logo's a different color. It's its own little mini story, and it's all about Ahsoka Tano and Darth Maul.
Yeah.
And it's like really
Who's
good.
who's the guy that Dave,
Dave
the
Filoni.
guy that Filoni? Yeah, I feel like Marvel really missed the boat, or Disney really missed the boat by not having him be the Kevin Feige for the Star Wars universe. Like
Well, hopefully that's what they're doing
this
now.
this guy, everything that he's touched, that I've seen, like I mean there's some parts, sure, of the Clone Wars series that's a little, but it was an animated show that was directed towards a certain audience, and he still managed to work in some pretty hardcore lore stuff into it that fit well and played really well,
He worked
within
side
the
by side
context of
with
the show.
George.
Yeah, so I,
Like,
I feel like they really missed I'm glad that he's so involved with Mandalorian now, but I hope that they realize what a good, steward they have of this franchise in him, and allow him to really help guide their future decisions, because clearly without somebody like that, they were all over the place with those sequel trilogies. So
yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I hope like long term that they do like involve him more, at least as a creative person with the live action stuff, because there is nobody like probably on the planet that knows more about Star Wars than Dave Filoni and George Lucas.
Yeah.
Like nobody else knows.
I would agree.
Like this, it's maybe Pablo Hidalgo who works in like pretty much the lore team for Disney, for Star Wars and everything would be your third guy. But like having, Dave Filoni, someone who is an actual, like, creative director as far as the animation goes, and now he's actually doing live action work, like working with Jon Favreau on the Mandalorian and everything. Like, yeah, he should definitely be your guy. Like,
Well, and
he should be a
maybe
consultant creatively at like all times. It would not hurt anything.
maybe John Favreau too. Maybe the combination. Maybe there's some magic between the combination of those two guys. Maybe you bring both of them on board as sort of co-roles of Kevin Feige, and they seem to be in sync pretty well because everything they've done with Mandalorian so far seems to be
Been
a
great.
win. So yeah, I just can't. And they're tying things in ways that make sense. And from everything I've heard from other people, don't you know they don't go against the characterizations that have come before, and they don't
Mhm.
they're not in contrast to any of the lore that's come before or came after. So they're doing really difficult work, and they're doing it very well.
There's no one better to be working in this time period than Dave Filoni
Yeah.
in the Star Wars universe, having done Clone Wars and Rebels. Because this is like I was talking to Rick about it. It's like, if anything, I think the mention of Thrawn. I don't think we're gonna get Thrawn in this by any means,
Yeah.
but it just, if anything, just really gives us a better idea of the time period. Like, more than anything that it's
Mhm.
in, just like Thrawn still existing out there and like being a threat in some way. And, but I mean, that's pretty much where Filoni left Rebels off, was with, like, that's where, like, the show kinda ended, was around that same, like, time period wise, was Thrawn, like, was introduced in the last, like, season or 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, I think that's just kinda gives us more of a better idea of, like, where this show's at just with his existence. Because I mean, I would love to see, like, especially given that we've seen Rosario Dawson and, like, what she was able to do with the Ahsoka character, in a live action presence. Like, I would love to see more of Ahsoka. Like
Definitely.
like, that would be great. Like, I could totally see.
Or having her own like spin-off or
Yeah,
something.
and, like the Luke Skywalker thing we were talking
Yep.
about before, if she had her own little mini series thing, that would fit in perfectly there.
It
Like,
would.
that would be a great way to end, like, a little mini series to, like, wrap up the Ahsoka character. Because then you're closing out 2 arcs, like, I mean, you get the, well, you kinda close out, like, don't really, I guess you have to say Luke's arc is closed in with Skywalker, but,
Sky.
regardless, you get a nice, poetic thing done if those
Are
2
you
come cross paths.
Are you are you worried at all that they're expanding out these stories too much? I mean, at this point, we've got where is Ahsoka Tano going? Is with relation to Thawne? Is Thawne, is that story ever going to be picked up on or discussed again in this series? Will it be picked up in another series somewhere? Plus, then you've got the Mandalorians that he met earlier this year and their quest to take back their home of Mandalore that was kind of left open ended. I feel like, we're getting hints of other stories in this universe, which is all well and good, but I just don't know if we're ever going to see any of them come to fruition.
I got a 200 IQ 5-head idea here, alright? You know how you said you were talking about the, Dave Filoni should be the Kevin Feige, right? Let me
Sure.
throw you this out here. Maybe that is exactly what they're doing, and maybe they're laying the breadcrumbs right now in this, because if you remember, like, we did a story on it too, about, like, a week or 2 ago, when they said that they were gonna be starting filming a spinoff of The Mandalorian, like, just in, like, a couple weeks or something.
Yeah.
And everyone,
Yeah.
like, there was no confirmation, but it was rumored, quote unquote, to be Boba Fett, who, speaking of which, ain't no one been talking about since that first episode.
Anything.
Well, nobody cares, man. I think all these people want to act like they care. He's a
Yeah.
stupid, boring character. Like, he's already forgotten. Like, that's all everyone was fucking
I
talking
forgot I
about.
was in it.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody even remembers Boba Fett showed up in this whole thing. But anyway, what are the odds here that they're, because there was another thing that, like, Favreau or somebody, I think it was Favreau, prior to season 2 coming out, said that they were going to be setting up their characters and, like, doing like their own stories and stuff, and then, like, branching out to potentially doing spin-offs and things like that. And everyone just assumed Gina Carano and Carl Weathers and, like, that kind of thing. And I was like, I don't think those characters would work with their own show. Like, I think they're
No,
good for what they do
definitely
here,
not.
blah blah. But he introduced people like Bo-Katan. Then you
Mhm.
introduce people like Ahsoka Tano. Those characters have potential to have their own shows.
Well, they could have
And
both
they
of
can
them in
all
one
connect.
show.
They
you
could
know?
be in one show. But no, now you could have your own little Mandalorian MCU kind of thing.
There you go.
Literally Mandalorian Cinematic Universe.
Hmm.
You know,
Not the Star Wars
Not-
Cinematic Universe.
yeah, no,
Mandalorian.
Cinematic Universe. Like
Which is funny because
MCU
he's
trait.
just a he's like a basic bounty hunter. you
Yeah,
know?
but like they all stem from the show, and like you could have your Bo-Katan show going and doing her thing. Then you could have your big Avengers team up episode where the like our guy Din Djarin comes in, meets up with
So-
Bo-Katan, Ahsoka Tano comes in, boom boom.
So you've got
That's
my
the
brain
show.
like going about 100 miles an hour here. So we're talking about, obviously the natural inclination is that you've got a series, a television series, so you'd spin off into other television series. What do you think about we're talking about movies going direct to streaming services now. Do you think that we'll see the day where there's a Star Wars film that's specifically for just the streaming service, that we'll see a Disney Plus like Ahsoka Tano movie come directly to Disney
Hell
Plus?
yeah.
And
I hope so.
Hell yeah. Well, and it'll
That- I
be the
think that would be-
Avengers team up, dude. Yeah,
Okay.
Bo-Katan, Mando, and Ahsoka the movie. You know what I mean? Taking
And then
down
who
Thrawn,
else? I
like
mean,
that'd be the movie. You know
Who
what I
else are they going to introduce that could also be on this team? Like
mean? Boba Fett.
he's like, I decided to be a good guy now. Just
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
give me my armor back.
I mean, I just feel like, because like I said before, with Boba Fett, I don't really know what you would actually do with him as his own character.
really
But I said before, after the Bo-Katan episode, that's a story I'd like to see. Her going and trying to retake Mandalore. Like
Dark
there's-
Saber.
Yeah, that is, because they set up the Dark Saber and Moff Gideon, but that's not, I've said it from the start, that's not Mando's story. Like, Moff Gideon just wants the kid. He just wants Grogu. He like the Dark Saber and all that stuff. Mando doesn't give two shits about that.
No,
Like,
but I'm sure he'd like it if he saw it. Well,
I
not
don't
like
really
like
know
it,
if he
but
would. He doesn't
the-
seem like that kind of person at all.
He's got that Beskar staff though now, which is pretty.
Yeah,
cool.
which I was wondering. I was gonna bring that up too. What, like, does he even have any more armor he needs upgraded?
No, but Grogu might.
That probably is enough Beskar to give Grogu some.
Well, you
something.
gotta see, he got a whole new
Does
setup.
Grogu needs a new pod, right?
He could get a Beskar pod.
That would be
That's
so cool, like
genius!
Beskar plated pod.
That's good. I mean, it's lightsaber proof for fuck. That's great. That's genius.
There
That
you
is-
go.
That's
That's
perfect.
It's literally indestructible metal pod for you to be. There you go, dude. And he's, like I said, he's never going to leave Mando's side, so he'll need it. And maybe it'll be
Yeah.
like a backpack attachment too, so he could just like keep it on him.
Old Moff Gideon would be expecting that.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
that'd be good. That's
He's
real
got that
good.
dark saber. Wouldn't he be able to penetrate it?
Exactly. I'm sure you probably could if you did the Qui-Gon, like really focus your saber into the steel blaster door and get through it. I think you'd probably get through it.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
I don't know. I thought that was cool though. Now he's got a staff.
Yeah.
Do you think he's actually going to use it though, or melt it
Why
down?
not?
Though that was kind of an honest
I
question.
mean, maybe eventually he'll melt it down, but I feel like if it's him, he's got just more Beskar to protect himself with.
What if you
a
think
good
they
point.
reforge it into a sword or two swords?
That'd be kind of cool.
I think that'd be.
I think the pod's cooler, but
I think the pod is a really good idea. That
I mean, he
that's
wouldn't get a whole
200
lot of
IQ
use
idea.
out of it personally, but it's going to protect his asset, which is
Yeah.
Grogu.
Exactly. That's the thing. We just never see him doing any, like Din Djarin doing any like two-handed melee combat. Like
It was cool though to see him with Ahsoka Tano, like where he's using the like gauntlets and all that. Like obviously, like that lightsaber didn't really do much to him at all. I mean, she kind of outwitted him.
man, a couple centimeters to the left though, dude. I mean, you can see
Yeah.
his
Din Djarin be
gauntlets are
one-armed.
very small, man. He could have lost
Yeah.
his arm real easy.
Yeah, they end like
That-
right at the beginning of his elbow.
That scene was actually very cool. I guess I didn't realize how strong Beskar was. That was my first experience with Beskar going up against a lightsaber, and that was awesome. to see
Yeah, I
him
wasn't
kind of-
sure how
staff
they would
fending
go
off.
with it too. Yeah.
The staff versus the lightsaber. I mean,
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah, sure. And then they went all in on that fight scene. Which was
Morgan
amazing.
Elsbeth or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
The magistrate. Her
Mhm.
magistrate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a great episode though. Overall, I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't. Part of me does not like getting all these like cock teases though. Like I don't want Bo-Katan to be just like
One
I
episode.
A
cheap.
one-off?
I want that story. Like, that's a cool story. Tell it. Like, Ahsoka Tano chasing down Thrawn. I obviously want that story. Like, tell that story. Like,
Yeah.
not like, why bring it up if you're not gonna go on with it? It's like the Pred Alien all over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't even tease us with it if it's like you have no intention of doing it. But I guess Boba Fett fans have been crying since the 70s about that shit. So, like, who knows?
Yeah.
Well,
I
guess
liked
he is.
the gunslinger scene at the end with Mando and the
Lang.
hired Lang. Yeah. That was a cool scene.
Kyle Reese.
Kyle Reese himself. That's what I was
Yeah.
looking for. Yeah. And God, what was his name in Aliens?
Oh,
Can't remember his name in Aliens.
yeah, I
now.
know.
It starts with an H. Hicks.
Hector.
Hicks. I think it's Hicks, right?
It could be. I don't remember.
Whatever. It was cool to see him there, though. Michael Beam. It was cool to see him pop up. That was for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Just I think I've said all I really want to say about it.
That's
I really
how I
think the
feel.
MCU is going to happen. I think those are your spin-off shows. If you had me in charge, that would be your spin-off shows for sure.
Yeah. And then you could have Mando appear in those shows occasionally. Like,
that's what I'm saying. That's the MCU. That's the Avengers team-ups. That's
Mando being like the Iron Man of
well,
not as powerful, but
either way, it would work. Okay, that's what you do. And I could totally see him just doing like I'm honestly in the end kind of like with what you were saying about the movie thing, John. That they were originally like rumored to be doing that with Obi-Wan, but then they turned it into a series. But then they're reworking everything to where like who knows? I mean, I always kind of pictured them doing just an Obi-Wan movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but I feel like with the streaming model and the way they have their stagecraft, technology for the set creation and everything, I think they, if anything, could just get more bang for their buck doing a series because you can draw it out. Kind of like HBO Max is doing with the Justice League cut, up to Snyder's cut. Like, why drop one movie when we can drop 4 episodes in 4 weeks? Draw out that subscription money. Like, I feel like that's really the only reason we're getting series over movies. Like, in all honesty. But yeah, you guys got any closing thoughts? Any final adieus on Mando season 2, episode 5?
Ready for number 6.
Yeah,
which is also sad though. It's almost over.
Well, we're already halfway over. Yeah.
With this episode being as like big as it was and everything, episode 6 probably is going to be just another like, hey, help us do this, and you will get this reward. And end of episode.
Maybe not though.
The one thing we didn't talk about was the temple that she sends him to.
Yeah.
Isn't that a reference to Knights of the Old Republic?
I think it is. Yeah.
What was the name of it?
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Typhos.
Typhos.
I think it's Typhos.
Yeah.
I think that was a planet in KOTOR.
Yeah.
That's where the old Jedi
when I heard it,
was.
it sounded very familiar, and so I thought that was a cool tie back.
Was
to
it
that.
Tython?
Tython, that's it.
Tython, yes.
Typhus.
Yeah, because that's the birthplace of the Jedi Order millennium.
Where they were the J''Adai. That was like the predecessor, or they came before the Jedi.
Yeah.
So yeah, something else that they drop in there that has a lot of weight to it. Like you said, a very weighty episode.
We're one step closer to Revan, man. Like Filoni was going to include Revan in Clone Wars, but like didn't have time and could only do Bane. That's why Darth Bane is canon. So like, but that's it from like KOTOR that we've gotten was just Darth Bane, which is kind of it's kind of lame. Like Darth Bane's fine, but I always thought like the whole Rule of 2 thing was honestly kind of stupid. Like, like it's just because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because with the whole balance of the Force thing, 2 people but an army of Jedi.
Yeah.
I mean, the Sith aren't that strong. Like, chill out. Like, chill out. But yeah, one step closer to my boy Revan being in canon. So I think Filoni will do it one day. One day. That honestly though, real talk, that would be something poised for Disney Plus. Like doing like a Knights of the Old Republic thing. Yeah. I mean, granted, I would have much rather had the HBO, the Game of Thrones guys, Benioff and Weiss, They were working on a Star Wars trilogy, and it was rumored, obviously, given their work on Game of Thrones, that it was going to be an Old Republic thing. I would have probably
Sure.
rather had that in the end, but at the same time, Disney Plus series for Old Republic would be pretty cool. Be
Mhm.
pretty cool. So, but that will do it for us today, guys. What did you think about Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 5, Chapter 13, The Jedi? Lots of stuff came out. We got Grogu. We got names for the little guy. You got little Grogu there. We got, his backstory. We got Ahsoka Tano. Like, it's tons of stuff in there. Let us know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. And let me know, do you think that this spin-off series that everyone's been talking about as far as the Mandalorian spin-offs, do you think I'm right? Do you think they will do Bo-Katan and maybe Ahsoka? Let me know in the comment section below. Before we sign out here, Rick, where can everybody find you online?
It's going to be Sir Rick Metz, RIKMETZ. Follow me on Instagram.
There you go. John, what about you, good sir?
I'm over at Nightwing_J over on Twitter.
All right, you can follow me simply at Sir Rob Bifo. Oh, don't forget, you can submit topics and questions to the show by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and do all that fun stuff with YouTube. Share the video, share all that stuff. Stay tuned for more streams and everything. Hopefully with less technical difficulties if you caught the stream on Saturday. So we seem to have got everything working because you're watching the show right now. So if you're watching the show right now, everything's working as intended. So stay tuned for more of that. But until next time, guys, take care.